Greeting my beloved Mr. Mutaching. Today our video presentation topic will be the China Silk Road Future Mega Project. Before we start off our presentation, I would like to introduce my group member. And this is Amy, this is Singi, this is Limi, and this is Yvonne. And now I would like to pass to Yvonne to start off our presentation.
I'm Yvonne. Today our group will be presenting the topic of China's new Silk Road. First, I will introduce about the One Belt One Road. The One Belt One Road is initiative to connect China with other countries across Middle East, Asia and Southeast Asia, and also Europe, through a vast network of interconnecting with lands and maritime roads in order to facilitate trade and commerce. Construct ports, power station, rail lines, and all the tunnels and the bridges in order to connect them to the mainland China. Silk Road was the network of trade routes with connecting China and Far East with the Middle East and Europe. It established when the Han Dynasty is officially opened the trade with the West in 130 BC. The Silk Road is remained to use until 1453 AD. Although it's been nearly 600 years since the Silk Road has been used for international trade, the route had a lasting impact on the culture, commerce, and a history that resonates even today. China has already set up the Silk Road Fund with 40 billion worth of initial fund to support the project of initiative. And in March of 2017, the private investor of China has set up the Green Silk Road Fund with initial capital of 4.4 billion. Next, I will pass to my group
criticism that China facing during the OBOR project. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is officially classified as closely related to the Belt and Road Initiative. It is a collection of infrastructure projects currently under construction throughout Pakistan. It will cross Kashmir, which is controlled by Pakistan. Indian officials have said the OBOR plan affected India's interests and territorial claims in Kashmir. India also declined to participate in the Belt and Road Initiative for international cooperation on 14th of May 2017. India announced in an official statement no country can accept a project that ignores its core concern on sovereignty and territorial integrity. The economic corridor passes through an illegal territory, an area that we call Pak Occupied Kashmir. India's reaction at that fact, such as the project has been initiated without consulting Prime Minister Narendra Modi, reinforced this point, asserting that connectivity in itself cannot override or undermine the sovereignty of other nations. Yet, against the background of deteriorating Sino-Indian ties, India cannot feasibly join the OBOR project without challenging the very foundations of its foreign policy. Despite the words, Beijing's priority in pumping huge sums into Pakistani territory is not to provide economic relief for Pakistan's struggling economy or to promote regional economic cooperation. Despite the claimed economic nature of the OBOR agenda, critics see the initiative being simultaneously a strategic program. China clearly portrays OBOR as both being premised on and further validating China's claim to the island of the South China Sea, while the other side of the Indian Ocean, Djibouti is providing China with both a trade port as well as its first overseas military base. It has been repeatedly noted in China that OBOR is also intended as a regional security mechanism, and the future role of the People's Liberation Army in protecting China's OBOR facilities abroad has been widely discussed. The two economic corridors now being developed provide provide China with direct access to the Indian Ocean, OBOR is having a geopolitical intent to confront the United States and has aroused the concern of many countries. The next part, I will pass it to Yvonne.
Next, the integration and increase of political and economic cooperation from China by crossing the Central Asian states to the Caspian region will breathe new life into the Chinese growth dynamic. It is therefore entirely realistic that China's gross domestic product will double in the next 10 years, and the real income will increase by 100% in the period from 2010 until 2020. Besides, opening up trade corridors will also make it easier for business going in and out of China to reach the growth middle classes, which could number more than 4 billion by 2021. Other than that, it will also may improve the trade relationship, and it will become bigger and faster trade and capital flows between the East and the West. Trading with new markets could go a long way towards keeping China's national economy buoyant. Next, I will pass to my group member, Xing Yi.
Now I'm going to talk about the benefit of China New Silk Road. Improved infrastructure provide the benefit to both other country and multinational company by providing such as high-speed railways to transport goods. The China Lead One Belt One Road OBOR initiative will fund a level of infrastructure such as road, railways, port, electricity, and energy, and the trade and finance ties between China and the countries along the two roads, and overland road that links China with South and Southeast Asia, Central Asia, Russia, and Europe, and the sea road that goes through South China Sea and the Indian Sea, and eventually reach the Mediterranean Sea. The initiative will begin by building or improving the physical infrastructure along this route, including rail lines, port, power grid, and telecommunication network, which will facilitate the flow of these goods and services. Infrastructure project will be funded by strengthening the existing financial framework of lending and capital raising, and will be further supported through new or enhanced custom, taxation and trade and investment policy conditions aimed at making trade between countries easier and stimulating economic growth. Building new or improved existing infrastructure, the aim for this project is to stand up to international standards. This includes meeting sustainability goals, which will require the expertise of architecture and design firms specializing in this area. There will also be a focus on expanding and improving telecommunication network, all of which will require substantial financing. Improved infrastructure investment and connectivity may open new market for US and multinational companies and ultimately drive US economic growth. The US currently has close trade ties with countries along the OBOR, and we believe they will stand to benefit from improved connectivity and business climate in the region. Next is the benefit for other countries. There will be enormous business opportunity throughout Asia, Africa, and Europe. The initiative is expected to create jobs and opportunity for people and business along the routes, as well as companies and investors around the world in areas such as infrastructure, finance, trading, logistics, and professional service. It will mean that even Indo-China will be a market, a place where you can work, and this appeals to Asian community as well. The Belt and Road Initiative is a part of that globalization and regionalization process. It will also increase regional trade and encourage economic cooperation. As the infrastructure improves, cities and countries will become better connected. That connectivity will lead to other economic activity and development, which will result in an increase in regional trade. The first benefit is improvement in the business climate, and in disposable income along the OBOR will also likely drive demand for consumer goods and food and beverage category, in turn benefiting multinational companies. Multinational companies and brands will further gain from enlarged catchment areas for their goods due to the improvement in infrastructure and the removal of non-tariff barriers that will make it easier for them to carry out business. Secondly, multinational companies have opportunity to supply product to Chinese contractors where environment standards are high or project demand are more advanced technology. International companies also have opportunity to supply product to Chinese COEs, especially where environmental or safety standards are high. For example, Honeywell China not only manufacture product in China for Chinese clients, but also sell the same product to Chinese EPCs working on BRI project abroad. GE China similarly partner with Sinomatch in Africa, supplying technology to the companies and joining bidding on opportunity. The last benefit is partnership. Chinese contractors have entered joint venture or collaboration agreement to create a more compelling proposition, such as China State Construction Engineering joint venture with Korea Samyang Engineering in the UAE. Others are looking to tie up with local players such as China Fortune Land and Vietnam Tin Nga Cooperation to help acquire land, navigate local regulation, or manage relationship with local governments and communities. Foreign companies have already entered into profitable partnership with their Chinese counterparts in the BRI region. More partnership will follow, especially where tenders are competitive and fiercely contested. Now I'm going to pass it to Amy.
What are the risks of China and other countries who have participated in the OBOR project? First, China has decided the solution is for OBOR, but lending hundreds of billions of dollars to many countries with weak credit rating and unstable political system is very risky. The country's national debt is already very high, but borrowing continues to accelerate at historic level as state-owned banks loan more and more money to state-owned companies. Some of the countries participating in the OBOR scheme have large current account deficit and unfavorable economic fundamentals, making them high-risk borrowers. This means Beijing is taking on greater leverage by providing them with capital and financing projects in those nations. First, we talk about the credit risk. In China, companies have developed credit and payment systems that ensure counterparty transactions are complete. Credit risk is well understood within a domestic context. When going abroad, Chinese companies will face customers that may operate on different credit payment and enforcement principles. Beijing has difficult investing in infrastructure abroad, especially through bilateral arrangements. Given Chinese construction companies' poor track record operating in foreign countries, including frequent mistreatment of local workers, a major increase in the scale of their external activities increased the risk of damaging political blowback that could harm Beijing's image or lead to instability in host country. Moreover, there is a clear risk that Beijing's effort will heighten geopolitical tension in an already tense region. However, China is charging interest rates as high as 60% and above for funding made available for OBOR projects like the CPEC, and wanted that these loans, which are cumulative, cannot be repaid easily. There are certain that countries like Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Nepal could be pushed into an endless debt trap. China will use the plea that it will sell its goods to Pakistan at higher price due to the risk involved in its proposed investment. Pakistan has no opportunity for binding. It takes whatever China provided, and in such a scenario, transparency does not exist. That means Pakistan used a high price to buy the goods from China. It is not secret that Sri Lanka has run into a huge debt trap by welcoming Chinese-funded projects. Sri Lanka debt exceeds 60 billion. More than 10% of that is owed to the Chinese. To resolve its debt crisis, the Sri Lanka government agreed to convert its debt into equity. This may lead to Chinese ownership of the project finally. The other part I will pass it to Daniel.
Thank you, Amy. And now I'd like to talk about the risk of OBOR to Singapore. In order to back and move forward to the busy Strait of Malacca and South China Sea, they have to go through Singapore. However, the ECRL, which is the East Coast Rail Link, will enable China bound goods from Auckland to be transferred to Kuantan using the freight of trains without having to go south to Singapore. because the ECRL link ports on western and eastern peninsula of Malaysia. Therefore, the alternate regional trade routes could affect economy of Singapore. Next, I would like to talk about the risk of OBOR to India. The main concerns of India in China-Pakistan economic, which is the CPAC, which is also part of the OBOR project. The port of Gouda is totally complete handled by China. Both China and Pakistan announced that they will use 46 billion development program where the influence will be end in the place in Gouda, which will fast track the staging post of China is Persian Gulf area. Next, this project such as Gouda could significantly trouble Indian currents dominance in Indian Ocean region. For India, OBOR may be potential economic opportunity. It also threatens India's interests. If China indeed succeeds in the economic and geographical aims behind the OBOR, India may get consigned to the margins of both land and maritime Asia. That's all for our presentation. Thank you.